He's like a turtle now.
I'm the dude.
You on drugs?
All rise and like, subscribe, and bang the gavel, baby.
Bang, bang, bang goes the trolley. And so does We Got a Case. Mikey, joined by you, the viewer. Credence having a little more downtime. Still not feeling that well, but he'll be back for We Got a Chase, don't you worry. You were saying to yourself, what the hell is this? What have I stumbled upon? You stumbled upon one of the greatest inventions of all time, Zoom Court. That's right. This are cases heard in local courtrooms across this great nation. No celebrities here. No sirree, Bob. Just real people. Nobody's going to fake it till they make it. You're going to have these fine young people here. We're learning that this lady owes a lot of money to this gentleman, and she's a big bitch. So let's go ahead and jump on into this and see what's going on.
For your daughter, and the court advises you of the same.
She's being ordered to pay like tens of dollars.
Miss Dowling, did you hear me?
I heard you.
Ooh,
do you have any comment?
I have a bunch, but I'm, you know, it's easy for a narcissist to talk the way he's talking. I have yet to, you know, my daughter, I haven't seen her. I see her once every 3 weeks. Once every 3 weeks. One call.
Okay.
Well, Miss Dowling, I would encourage you to be compliant with the court's orders and to what's been set today and what I've understood is appropriate amounts to pay.
Yeah, one of the amounts says $30.
In order to have subsequent.
One's $15.
Good faith shown by yourself as to what this court is ordering. So, like I'm trying to say to you,
Mr. Dowling's
you
face
need
is
to pay reasonable amounts that I've set forth by order today.
What's up, Buzzkill?
You need to get something established in regards to your child support obligations.
That's right.
And you need to get your priorities in line with what needs to be done.
Texas Mama Bear, TK, good to see everybody.
Anything further to come before the court, Mr. Dowling?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
She's done enough.
Mrs. Dowling?
When do I get more time with my daughter?
Ooh, coming in hot.
I think that the court will look at what
Tiff, good to
has
see you.
been ordered today. The court will look to see if you're putting your priorities in line with what needs to be done.
I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Upon proper motion back to the court would consider modification in regards to parenting time.
So I don't get her for Mother's Day.
I believe Mother's Day
short notice
is coming Saturday or Sunday. Excuse me. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Dowling, would you have any objection to
Abby, glad you're here.
Your daughter making a telephone call to her mother?
She makes a phone call every Sunday anyway. Okay. And so she'll already have that phone call. And at this time, I know that her mom's birthday is next month. And even if that doesn't fall on a date on Sunday when she's supposed to have her phone call, my intention is to let her call her mom so she can wish her happy birthday. So that's definitely not something I plan on
Mavis
taking away
thinking
from her.
stars on Facebook.
And the court subsequently does adopt the suggestion for phone calls by the daughter with Miss Dowling on Mother's Day and Miss Dowling's birthday in June 2022.
Okay, so understand this man has custody of his daughter and this woman doesn't.
All right.
There's a reason for that.
Anything further, Mr. Dowling?
He's under the weather.
No, sir. I believe that'll be it.
But he'll be here for the
Anything
chase.
further, Miss Dowling?
No.
Court is in recess.
That's Judge comes with the energy. I'm telling you, energy.
Not going to that.
He's got it in spades. This guy.
Trespass or anything like that. Do you know anything about that?
There wasn't anything on our record that would indicate a trespass.
Did you tell
Ed
Robert
now.
that day, don't come back?
What ring? Have no idea what's going
everything
on.
was said and done, I spoke with Kevin
Phone guy?
to conclude, and that's when he advised me that he wants Robert
Morning.
trespass from the property and not be able to return. And our
Hello.
protocol is that we have to verbally
He's
tell that
sleeping. He's
person,
not feeling well. But he'll
hey,
be
you
here for
can't
the
come
chase.
back.
Don't worry.
If you do come back, you can be arrested, and that's what I did advise to Robert.
Okay.
Everybody's
sitting
been
here
sick
through the whole
recently.
time,
I'm
right?
telling you, something going
So
around.
you've seen all the photographs from both prosecutor and defense attorney.
Correct.
Yeah, that lady had a
Well,
bad
I'll let you
attitude.
look at 'em, but I wanna ask
Real
you some
bad.
questions about that. And if there's something you can't remember, I'll get you the exhibit. Do you recall seeing on these photographs some white marks, like the dust is being wiped away?
In the photos, yes.
And do you know who did that?
I do not.
It was not you?
I cannot answer that because I don't know. 'Cause it's been
Look
almost a year
here,
ago.
God
It's
rides a Harley.
possible, but I don't know.
You tell all
I know
those
when
guys
I was there, and I was taking photos
and gals.
From certain angles. It was hard to see because it was dark.
Do they have
It was possible that
YouTube? If so, then you
touched
subscribe.
the bump
Facebook,
just or the
subscribe.
tape to make sure that
That's
it
your
was
job for today, God rides a Harley.
Right.
from a certain angle.
Laura coming
But
in
these-
hot
These white marks appear to have like
with the
maybe
big
white-
20 bones over there
Okay.
on the super chat, super
and
sticker,
would you also
super.
agree that
Oh,
it
by
would
the
be
way,
easier to tell if it had the-
real quick, guys, we have the ability now for super thanks. I'm not sure exactly what it is, how it works, but super thanks is now an option. It's somewhere on the underneath the video. You'll see it there. It's only on YouTube. There, I've told you.
What I
Thank you, Laura. Laura.
Thinking was there was like gravel dust along the
My favorite
bottom of
wrestler,
the-
gravel
the
dust.
Explorer. That would indicate
Power
that it was
stroke.
gravel from him being driving down on the gravel road.
Thank
And
you,
then I remember
Vinny.
looking at the dent
The place gets out of hand.
to kind of base an idea of could it have been from something else, but there was no scratches or anything that. So I mean, in my investigation, I based a more opinion that it was probably true. That it
See,
was
that's why
kicked
you guys are here.
because
You
it
know
was
more about
extra.
YouTube than I do.
Overruled. You asked a question and you got your answer.
Wow, this judge is interesting.
Not 100% no.
You're fine. You're fine.
Do you
I'm glad
know-
you were nice enough to send that over. We
When
appreciate it.
you're looking into this, whether there was animosity between Robert and Kevin.
It seemed like there was definitely past domestics that have occurred there between the two.
And did you have any information in looking into this?
Any
about-
evidence of that?
Basis.
I haven't even said anything.
I'll listen to the question and then I'll rule. What's your question, Mr. Proctor?
Do you have any information about animosity that could have been caused because of my client's divorce?
This courtroom's a doozy already.
I'll allow it.
It's all good. Go
I
ahead.
don't know anything about the divorce or anything except for what I was told on scene that.
Well, you can't talk about what somebody told you. Okay. The question was, do you have any knowledge about animosity as a result of the divorce?
No.
Your next question?
No further questions.
Any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor. You don't have any firsthand knowledge of anything that occurred back on December the 6th, 2021, do you?
Nope.
A typical investigation.
Yes.
You arrived, you talked to everybody that you could talk to, you took photographs.
Yes.
You observed damage.
Yes.
In your opinion, it was consistent with what you were being told.
Yes.
Now, you didn't see any signs in the driveway or anything else about gravel being spun out by Robert?
Correct. Usually when I
How
do
dare
my
Robert spin up
investigation,
rocks?
I take everybody's statements in consideration based on what I observed and what I heard. It sounded more like that was the case because I didn't. One thing that Kevin did tell me was that gravel was flung up from a burnout. Well, if that was the case, there would have been marks, and there wasn't.
Okay.
So I
now,
didn't believe it was
the damage you inspected on the red vehicle. You've seen those photographs. You took some of those photographs, did you not?
Yes.
Did damage appear to be fresh?
Why are these chains hanging up right here?
I'm not expert in that idea, so I don't know if that was fresh or not.
See any rust?
No.
No rust at all?
No rust.
I will turn it up for you.
Now, you were also asked about statements that you don't recall making to the defendant about no big deal. You don't charge people, do you?
No, I forward charges down for review.
And so if it's a misdemeanor, they come to our office and we make that decision, don't we?
Correct.
Nothing further.
Redirect.
Hallelujah, TK.
Right,
Thank you for the
$10. Your next witness, Mr. Proctor?
Sean Trout.
Judge Stansberry is happy about it.
See you in the hallway.
Yeah, in the hallway.
Very good.
That's the super thanks thing? Is that the super thanks button? If so, super thanks to you. Fred Franklin, good to see you. I like that the prosecutor come in hot with his questioning. Defendant, not so much. I give that one to the prosecutor.
All right, sir. If you'll please come forward and be sworn, just step up onto the witness stand and then turn and face the bailiff.
They told me they weren't going to let you see it, Iowa golfer. They said, no for you. If you're over on We Got a Case, you won't see it over there. Only on We Got a Chase and the Cretan Special Show YouTube channel.
Give your name and spell your last name.
Sean Trost, Trost.
This guy come out of nowhere. He wasn't even together.
12420 Technoglass Road, Newark, Ohio, 43055.
Thank you, sir. You may inquire.
That sounds so good.
Mr. Troust, do you know Kevin Hall?
I do.
And how do you know it?
We've known each other since about yay tall. Been like
yay tall.
Since children, right?
Correct.
When you do that, it doesn't get on record.
Oh.
Where were you on December 6th of 21?
Okay.
I was at Kevin's shop.
So that would be on the property where.
Yeah.
Unsightly.
At Buena Vista Street. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions about that, but let me ask you something else first.
It's like a scene out of
how long have you
Hellraiser.
been over at Kevin's place?
Good eating.
I am usually there at least 5 times a week.
So would that be true of the latter part of 21?
Latter part of 21, I was probably there a little bit more, probably pretty much every day.
What's your reason for going over there?
Just to protect the property. There's a lot of domestic turmoil going on at the moment.
Licking County.
You mentioned you were at Kevin's shop. Could you explain that?
Kevin has a shop behind his house that does basically machine shop work.
I have no idea.
Some pretty expensive equipment that needs to be secured and protected.
So were you there working?
That might be
shop too that day on December 6th?
I don't believe I was.
But you were there December 6th.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Maybe it's only after we're done with the live. After the fact.
Robert Alt, Kevin's. Well, strike that. Do you know Robert Alt?
This
Yes,
is
I do.
court.
And how do you know him?
Robert is Kevin's son.
And do you know anything about the difficulties?
This is what they call court.
Between Robert and Kevin, latter part of 21.
Yes. There's been many difficulties.
No object, Your Honor.
I don't care what you found, TK.
I think
Appreciate
the
$10.
first part of the question was acceptable. That part will be overruled, but getting into the details is not. So that part will be sustained. Your next question, Mr. Proctor?
In the latter part of 21, do you know
lawyer's
whether or
not
not
that good, man.
Robert received packages at Kevin's address?
He's
Not
napping.
necessarily
Getting some rest.
didn't you?
Yes, it was. He still had his mail coming to Kevin's address.
And as generally speaking, in the last few months of 21, how did Robert get his packages that were coming there?
His packages.
Usually he would call or just show up.
Did he ever send somebody else to pick up a package?
Yes.
How often did that happen?
I couldn't give you an accurate count, more than 5 or 6 times.
Was it Lindsay or was it somebody else?
It could be Lindsay. It could be Robert's friend JT. Could be
not JT. What about TK?
Those are the two that I specifically remember.
During this time period, do you recall if Robbie ever made any threats to Kevin?
Objection.
Basis.
Relevance at this point in time. It's a criminal damaging case.
Yeah, I'm going to sustain the objection. Next question, please.
Okay, this guy's boring me. Let's jump over here. We'll come back to him and see if there's we get anywhere on his case. Somebody just fart in the courtroom?
All right, Mr. Cerna, you're before the court under warrant 21W002570. The warrant charges you with an aggravated stalking charge. Aggravated stalking is a superior court only bond. I'm not able to grant you a bond, but just give me one moment, please.
Yeah, he was just having all these name off a bunch of people.
All right, so because of the nature of the offense of an aggravated stalking, I cannot grant you a bond. You are superior court only as well. You will have to remain in custody until your preliminary hearing or until a superior court grants you bond. The preliminary hearing will probably happen first. So with that being said, sir, we will see.
Hallelujah, Vinny.
Thank you for the stars over there. Hearing, and if there's nothing further from you, sir, you are excused from court.
Good day, Ed.
And that was from February 2021. All right.
The Texas redhead. Let her loose. Just break
All
her
right,
out.
and the next case is going to be position number 9, Kenyatta Thompson.
Kenyatta?
Good morning again, or good afternoon again, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, and I believe the state is calling the victim, which we're allowing to come on into court. Just give us one moment.
I'm guessing so. I mean, anytime you've got, they won't set bond on anybody that has anything super serious like that, especially anything with weapons like that. They don't get a bond. They move it on to the side. They send it to, the bigger courts to handle. Yeah, which is understandable.
All right, Ms. Hicks, you're muted for right now. This is Judge Jason, of course, and this is not a trial to determine guilt or innocence. This is a first appearance hearing where we're going over the charges and notifying Mr. Thompson of the nature of the charges, or Miss Thompson?
Ms. Thompson.
Miss Thompson, okay, for the nature of the charges. So we'll be with you in one moment. Ms. Thompson, you're before the court under warrant 22W006802. That warrant alleges that on, I'm sorry, would you like me to read the charges into the record, Mr. App?
No, we'll waive, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Anyway, you're charged with aggravated assault with a weapon toward the victim in this case, which I did the warrant, so I'm familiar with it. And the warrant alleges on May 4th, 2022 in the city of Decatur, you did commit that offense of aggravated assault.
He's just not feeling well.
You're also charged with battery, allegedly hitting the victim in this case. With that being said, going over the criminal history, I showed that Ms. Thompson has no criminal history. And I'll hear from the state and the victim, and then we'll speak to Mr. Apt. Go ahead, please, Ms. Donkovic.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state also does not show any criminal history for the defendant. However, the state is concerned that after speaking with the victim's
here.
We've become aware that the defendant's family has been approaching the victim and making threats to her, which is currently being investigated by the police at this time. So we do have concerns about retaliation in this case. Your Honor, the state's request is going to be no bond. However, if Your Honor is inclined to grant bond, the state would be requesting bond in the amount of at least $15,000 and include a stay away. And Ms. Hicks, if you could unmute yourself, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
This ought to
Could
get
you raise your
interesting.
right hand?
We don't get this much very often.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will now give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Ms. Hicks, I'm just going to ask you a few questions, and I'm going to ask that you keep your answers limited to just bond in this case and not the facts of the case. Do you believe the defendant should receive a bond at this time?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any safety concerns at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And why do you have those safety concerns?
What's up, monkey?
Just from a few of the statements that she made that I got on my camera after looking at all the footages with the police after she left her car with some of her family and they pulled up again like twice last night and once this morning in front of the door and just sat there, and she said on camera before she got arrested that none of us will be able to live here in peace. She promised we'll never be able to stay here again or some. The wording might be a little off, but mainly her words were we will not be able to stay here no more and none of us won't be able to come back. And I have kids and I had to stay at my mom's house because I'm really scared. Like, I don't know if she pointed a gun in my face. I don't know what she would really do. And hit me with it. Like I got black eyes. Like
Natural redhead.
Like my kids have to look at me like this. We really are scared. Like I don't have a gun. So if somebody starts shooting, I don't know what to do.
You get down.
Hicks,
You hide.
The residents involved in this case, is that your residence?
Somebody starts shooting.
Yes, ma'am.
And would you
She got feedage.
what is your opinion on whether or not the defendant should be allowed to come back to that residence?
No, she can never come back here.
Okay. Thank you. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Apt, do you have any
Nancy,
questions of the victim?
I do. You said someone came by your house.
Happy Cinco de
You said
Mayo.
You're not referring to this defendant who's in custody. You're referring to someone else, correct?
Yeah, the people she called to fight me yesterday with her. She called her family.
People, do you know their names?
Who is them people?
I do know their nicknames. I don't know their real names.
Go ahead, let's hear their nicknames.
And how do you know that they're affiliated with my client?
I have it all on camera. They all came with her threatening to shoot up my house. Threatening yesterday during the altercation. They were all in my yard with her.
Okay, and so then you're saying today they came back this morning?
Yeah, they came yesterday after we left the headquarters. We also had an incident with them at the headquarters. They was riding, circling the parking lot around us, pointing and threatening us.
My client was in custody during all this, correct?
Yeah, but they wouldn't know who I am, what I look like, or my house if she didn't call them in front of us and say, "Come here to help me." It's her family.
You're saying my client called them from the jail?
No, she called them before she went to jail.
Oh, come on, Jay. Quit being an asshole.
So, and you're alleging these other individuals came over to your house today?
They're in her vehicle. She called them. She gave them her keys.
How do you know she called them? How do you know she called them?
In front of me. I have camera footage of her using her cell phone.
Ma'am, you got to let me finish.
Okay.
I'll let you finish too, okay? Because the court reporter's got to take down what we say, or the not court reporter, but the record. It's being recorded, so we got to make sure everyone is clearly understood. So what you're saying is that prior to my client being arrested, you have her on camera making a phone call? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yes.
So you videotaped my client making a phone call, correct?
No. Can I explain it? She was so loud that my camera that's in front of my window have her on recording, yelling, calling, saying, "Mom, y'all come around here now." And they all came and pulled up to my house with
now
guns.
What, Jay? Now what?
And threatening to
Jay?
shoot up my house. That's how the police got involved. My neighbors called the police.
Okay.
Next question.
But you don't know who she was calling, correct?
She said, "Mom," and when they got here, they all got the car.
I'm sorry.
She said, "Mom."
Mom, M-O-M?
Mom, M-A, 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 M-O-M. Ma, she said, Mom, they pulled up and she's out here with them. She got in the car with them.
And you don't know any of these, you don't know the names of any of these individuals?
I don't know their names, but they came to my house before with guns.
Okay. And how did you encounter these? Where did you meet my client? When was the first time you met her?
Years ago. She's like family, so this is a big shock to me that
Your
she
Honor,
would do
I'm
this.
just gonna object to scope. I think we're getting a little bit outside the facts.
Why are we on?
Hold on one moment. Okay, I'm sorry. Could you repeat your objection, Ms. Donkovo?
She's calling Little Dookie and Big Dookie.
Yes, Judge, I'm just gonna repeat or object to scope. I think we're getting beyond what is appropriate for this particular hearing.
I think
Judge, I didn't open the door. The state asked about these incidents, so I have the ability to do a sifting and thorough cross-examination within the scope of what the state asked about. I didn't ask about all this stuff that's going on. The state opened the door and put this witness on the stand, and then started asking her about specific incidents. So I have a right to cross-examine her about those incidents.
This dude's a jerk.
You do have the right to cross-examine. I'm just going to ask that if you've already asked the question and she's answered, just be aware of that, please, because it is a first appearance and she is a victim.
Yeah, she is the alleged victim in this situation.
Request for bond, and it seems like we are going a bit out of the range of what's appropriate just for a bond hearing, and she's testified why she's concerned for her safety. Ms. Hicks, come back in view, please. Okay, Mr. Apt, anything further? And Ms. Hicks, just wait till he finishes and then answer.
Thank you, Michael York, over there on Facebook.
Ms. Hicks, did you ever see my client in possession of a firearm?
I hope she did.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes.
And that's, did my client point a firearm at you? Is that what you're alleging?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Did she fire that gun?
No, Mr. Apt, hold on, Mr. Apt. I think now we're getting into evidentiary issues.
All right.
I'm really not comfortable going that far into it for.
I understand.
Yeah.
I have no other questions.
First appearance.
I have no other questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Apt. All right, I'm sorry, Ms. Duncan.
Throwing it up. He's on the phone, man.
Follow-up questions for the victim?
Nothing additional. Thank you, Ms. Hicks.
All right, and Mr. Apt, ma'am, you have the right to be here, but I'm going to go ahead and mute you.
I think so too.
Mr. Apt, any favorable information that you'd like to present on behalf of your client? Go ahead. You can proceed.
Your Honor, she has no criminal history of any kind. She has lived in Georgia for the last 12 years. She's employed full-time and has a consistent work history.
Ms. Hicks, stop that. Please don't do that. This is not a trial. Okay, this is just a bond hearing. Okay,
so we have a consistent work history for my client, including her current employment.
Six is fired up.
For DoorDash.
Morning.
And then she worked for Walmart prior to that for several years and Dollar General prior to that for several years. She's lived in Georgia since 2012, Your Honor. She was born June 3rd of 1996, which makes her, by my math, about 26 years old. And
either she is or she isn't.
With no criminal history. I would actually defer to the state's bond request of $15,000 cash, property, or surety, and a stay away order at this time.
This should be interesting.
Give me one moment, please.
This guy is a real ass. I mean, we were only having this lady come in and give a statement about how she felt about this lady's bond. And then it turns into this whole line of questioning from Mr. EJ over here. It's I don't know. I don't like that. The lady come over, so the other lady that's locked up right now supposedly came to her house, called over her family to come and intimidate, threaten this lady, which she did, and she also pistol whipped the lady, supposedly, all caught on camera. Then her family has been stalking Mrs. Hicks this morning, going outside her home, sitting there. So now, you know, good for Miss Hicks for not like breaking down. She was she stood strong. I like that. But definitely not happy with this guy.
I'm inclined. I know the state requested 15, and I know she has no criminal history, Mr. Apt, but I just have a little information, but we're not far off, but I am going to grant her a bond, but it will be a $20,000 regular bond. Ma'am, your special conditions are to stay away from Ms. Hicks. My understanding when I issued the warrant from the detective that this is her home and she was allowing you to stay there. I'm not sure if you paid rent, but you're not permitted to go back. You or your family members, no one's permitted to go back to her home. You do get one trip with the police officer to pick up your personal items. And what that means is that when you're released, you call the local authorities. Ms. Hicks, you live in Decatur. So you'll call the police department unless you live in the city.
Oh, I like lawyers. I just don't like
you'll have
this
to get
one.
an escort with the police. They'll contact Ms. Hicks and allow you to go pick up your personal belongings. But other than that, you cannot go back to the location if you're able to make bond. Additional special conditions are that you shall not possess a firearm while you are on bond. And additionally, you shall not have any contact with the victim, including encouraging your family members to have any contact. Now, when I say no contact, that means you can't call her, you can't text her.
Send her flowers.
Any contact will be a violation of my order, and I'm sure your attorney will share with you. It'll land you right back here for possibly an aggravated stalking, which means you would not be bondable by this court. So one trip with the officers, $20,000 regular bond, stay away from the victim and her family and her home. Directly, I'm going to read the language. Stay away.
Like
absolutely,
that.
Direct or indirectly by
He
person,
is.
telephone. That includes social media. A lot of times we see that people start escalating and posting information, knowing that you're trying to target the victim, and you think it's okay because you're not, actually putting her name in there. But that could be tampering, intimidating witnesses. Those are other offenses. Just because the assertion that the victim made is that your family allegedly has been involved in intimidating her and she's concerned for her safety. In this case, that's what the DA is going to have to handle. But right now I just have to deal with you. So and I put that you shall not have any contact with the victim, including encouraging family members to have contact with the victim.
No encouraging, please.
So, hold on one second. Now, Ms. Hicks, please understand, I, as a judge, cannot control who reaches out to you, but make sure you let the authorities know if somebody's reaching out to you or saying something or making you feel unsafe. And ma'am, you're not to possess a firearm while on bond, so I will need you to sign the special conditions, understanding the special conditions. And ma'am, again, Ms. Hicks, just know that you have this protective order. You can call our clerks and they'll give you a copy of the protective order, okay?
That was a pretty in-depth
I think
case.
there's another charge. Hold on one second.
Uh-oh, charge is still coming.
Thought there were two.
There are two, I believe.
Yes, the second charge, I'm sorry, is allegedly beating the victim. So that's a $5,000 bond. So the battery will be $5,000 and the first charge will be $15,000 for a total bond of $20,000. And I hope, ma'am, you understand how serious this is. Your family's hired an attorney, so you have family support, but this is not a joke and it can go wrong really quickly. So, and same with you, ma'am, I'm going to encourage you, Ms. Hicks, make sure don't ignite anything, don't post anything. You're a victim, and I'm not saying you would, but just in my experience as a judge, I've seen where people start stuff, making comments.
Don't
as well. So
start stuff if you don't want
restricting you
stuff.
from doing anything, to not,
Please like this video,
to just
for God's sakes. Or
obey the
I'm
law and
sending
try not to post
EJ to
anything,
your house for dinner
because this is where
tonight.
it starts escalating. All right. Now, with that being said, special conditions have been signed and saved by me. And I'll wait for my clerk to make sure everything looks okay and the defendant to sign the special conditions and the $20,000 regular bond.
So, Your Honor, that's a good bond. She can use cash, property, or surety.
That's correct.
Thank you, Your Honor. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Gladys, I'm sorry, Miss.
No, I was saying everything looks okay.
All right, sounds good. All right. Thank you, Mr. Apt. Is there anything further?
I just want to tell Ms. Thompson, when you get out, please immediately make an appointment to come see me at my office, okay? And don't make sure your family and friends leave Miss Hicks alone. They're not to contact her. They're not to email her. They're not to go by her house. They're not to call her. Like the judge said, no one is to contact her in any way, shape, or form. You understand that?
Allegedly.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Ms. Hicks. Your excuse from court, $20,000 bond. And that concludes our hearing on this case.
I thought he would be a little aggressive at the time of dealing with her in this setting. I don't know. That was the only thing I objected to. Again, that's what Mikey is. Not an attorney. I just played one on YouTube. Things getting wild. Yeah, he does. He wants to work on getting paid.
All right, and we will proceed in order of the calendar. Position number 1, please. And that will be Mr.
That'd be
Ahmad.
bad. That'd be real bad.
He just had to go to the restrooms, Judge. He have a little medical.
Okay, we'll come right back to him. Position
He's got
2,
diarrhea, Your Honor. He's not here.
Mr. Branch.
I think it was the lady that just left was yelling. So, I mean, that she got her bond, so now she's just gonna raise hell.
Okay, Mr. Branch, you're before the court under warrant 22W006780. The warrant has 4 charges, so that's the first warrant number. And the warrant alleges in the city of Atlanta, on May 3rd, you did allegedly commit the following offenses. The first is possession of methamphetamine.
Uh-oh.
The second charge is possession less than 1 ounce of marijuana. The third charge is obstruction of law enforcement officers. And the fourth charge is theft by shoplifting from dealers, sure, which I guess led to all of this. You do have that
escalated
quickly. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm on number 2. Yes. Criminal history that I show on Mr. Branch, 13 cycles of Georgia criminal history. The major offenses I've included is there is a, in 2018, sir, it shows you've been convicted of a hit and run, fleeing from officers, theft by
Wow, he's done it all.
stolen property for which you're currently on a 5-year probation. We also have a failure to appear in 2018, 2019. You have 3 violations of probation, 2018, 19, and 2 in 2021. You also have a 2019 obstruction charge. You do have some history, and I'll come back out of Florida, but that's a fugitive, and you have some contempt of court issues and 5 cycles out of Virginia.
Very true.
Currently pending April 2021, you have 2 counts of obstruction.
You're doing too much.
Here in Georgia,
thank you.
December 2021, you have a theft by taking, and you currently have an outstanding warrant for your arrest that is outstanding in Fulton County for a failure to appear, and that warrant was issued on November 2020.
Everybody should pull a Denise
With that
today.
being said, does the state have any additional criminal history and or a recommendation on bond?
No additional history, Your Honor, but I would note that the warrant out of Fulton is an active hold. Considering the defendant's criminal history and the charges in this case, and the fact that there is that active hold, the state's request is a $5,000 bond and a do not return to Dillard's.
Oh, Dillard's.
Okay, Ms. Mills.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Branch is 30 years old. He's originally from the state of Virginia, though he's been in Georgia for the last 7 years.
The volunteer state.
He has an address in Atlanta where he has resided for the last 4 years with his friend, and he does have a 9-year-old child who he sees almost daily.
Exactly,
here in the
you
area
said that before.
Your Honor, to be frank, Mr. Branch was released from custody in DeKalb about 2 months ago, and for the last 2 months, he's been working to get back on his feet and make as much money as he can to become stable in his life. Before he was
meth don't buy
arrested,
itself.
He's been working in construction, and he also makes music on the side. So he's been trying to, again, just make as much money as he can to get back on his feet. He did graduate from high school in Virginia, so he does have his high school diploma. And then he did go on to college at St. Paul's College, where he studied psychology and got a few credits under his belt. Your Honor, I do realize that Mr. Branch has a criminal history, though I don't believe that he actually has any felony drug charges nor shoplifting charges in his history. So I don't believe he's a risk to reoffend there. And Your Honor, I do believe that with the shoplifting charge here, they did recover the item. So Dillard's did not lose any merchandise at the end of the day.
Can we hear what he
Your
stole?
Honor, unfortunately, the only bond that Mr. Branch could make would be an unsecured judicial release. So that is our request today. Again, he does have that hold in Fulton County, so it's not like he would be released directly to the streets if he gets a UJR, but he's just a very limited means. Like I said, he's been trying to get back on his feet for the last 2 months.
Wow, Grotobot coming in strong.
I'm actually going to grant him a bond. It's going to be $500 per charge. Total bond is $2,000. Just give me one moment. Most people that appear before the court that shoplift at one store, and in this case, it's Perimeter Mall. So I'm just going to do a $2,000 regular bond. And so I'm going to restrict you from going back. Do not return to Perimeter Mall.
The whole mall you're on?
Ashford Dunwoody area. So while the case is pending, do not your trespass from going to Perimeter Mall.
Well, that's terrible. Look, that is crazy, Jody.
All right, so your family will have to post about $200 to have you released, and then you'll be transferred over to Fulton County.
He's gone nuts.
Are the bonds 500 each?
Yes.
He had stole some beautiful clothing from Dillard's. He had a job interview he didn't want to tell us about, but
and I've signed it. If you can let me know if everything looks okay before
it was at the paper mill. Allegedly.
Yes, everything's okay.
Okay, thank you.
They
All
probably
let's go ahead.
Creed will be selling
position
that
one
soon.
Is that Mr. Rashid at the stand at the podium?
Oh, no, Judge, this is position 4. Position 1, I had to put back inside for a moment.
Okay, all right. So we'll go on to position 4.
We can only hope, Michael. We can only hope.
Mr. Jackson, okay, give me one moment to pull up your charges.
Look at Glenn thinking outside the box. I like that. Glenn just thinking outside the box. Usually, if I would do that, I would have got banned from the chat. They'd be like, "No spamming."
All right, Mr. Jackson, you're before the court. You have, let's see, 3
Yeah,
charges,
Glenn.
and they begin with warrant number 22W006775. The warrant alleges in the city of Dunwoody on about May 3rd, you did commit the following 3 offenses.
I don't
Possession
think
of
so.
a firearm by a convicted felon. You were convicted of a felony in Gwinnett County Superior Court. You're charged with unlawful possession of, let's see, low THC oil, but I'm trying to see the amount. Hold on one second.
He had a quart of THC oil, Your Honor.
It looks like 4 grams of marijuana and 4 small packages of THC oil. And you're charged with, let's see, we've got the possession of firearm by a convicted felon, unlawful possession of 20 ounces or less of THC oil, and possession less than 1 ounce of marijuana. Mr. Jackson, I do show that you have 7 cycles of criminal history, primarily
it's
driving offenses, but you
under
do have
10.
a 2015 possession of tools, and that may be the felony conviction, but
Just hang
no
in
arrests
there,
since
Grotto.
then.
You'll
So I
get
will hear
used to it.
from the state, please.
Maybe.
Thank you, Your Honor. No additional information. However, considering the facts in the warrant, the state's request is $3,500.
Oh yeah, there's some good
Okay,
attorneys
thank
out
you.
there. They're
All
not
right,
all
Ms. Mills?
terrible.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would first like to point out that this is just the result of a traffic stop, and it appears from my reading of the warrant that Mr. Jackson was very cooperative. after he
Depends
was
on the
stopped
day,
by the
phone
police.
guy.
So I would just like
Depends on
to
the
point
day.
that out to the court. But he is 31 years old and has been in Georgia his entire life. He's actually been at the same address in Snellville for the last 17 years, and that's where he lives with his stepmother and his brother. So he does have a stable family address that he can return to. He's also gainfully employed. He's held the same job in construction at PEC Industrial for the last 1.5 years and is certainly eager to get back out of custody so he can get back to work. He did graduate from Shiloh High School in Snellville and then went on to study at
Congrats.
Chattahoochee Tech for 2 years. So he is very well educated. and has
Chattahoochee.
taken steps to improve his life.
Way down yonder on the
Your Honor, I
Chattahoochee.
have reviewed his criminal history, and I don't believe that he has any history of drug charges or firearm charges. So given all of the facts and circumstances here today, our request for Mr. Jackson is bond in the amount of $1,000.
Maybe it was Smallville. Maybe he's really
All right,
Superman.
taking all factors into consideration, going to grant a $2,000 bond. Sir, you're a convicted felon, you know that, so you're not allowed to possess a firearm.
Oh.
So $1,000 in the possession of firearm by a convicted felon and $500 on the additional 2 THC and possession less than 1 ounce. Okay, anything further? If not, Mr. Jackson, you're excused. Your family will have to pay about $200 to a bond and come to have you released.
There you go. There you go. Hey, I have no problems with people being on
Make
Facebook.
sure I sign that bond. Hold on one second. Yes, I did. Okay.
We have way more people on Facebook
Position 5, Mr.
than we do
McGee.
on YouTube.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
As far as like overall views and things like that. I think there's 11,000 followers over there now. We pick up probably about 200 or 300 a week. So it grows pretty quick. Yeah, weed has got to be one of those really weird ones where you, like in one state, people are just, all over the place doing it. And then in other states, they're just really, still arresting people for it right and left. But it has turned into one of those things where it's become competitive, I think, more, and turned into more of a little more violent at times. Most attorneys are great people who practice law.
All right, so Mr. McGee.
Some people's approach
You're before the court from an outstanding warrant from 2017-18. The warrant is 19W005079 and it's out of Norcross, elder exploitation.
Elder
and criminal
exploitation.
History, quite a bit, 34 cycles of criminal history. The significant criminal history is a 2012 and 18 failure to appear, a 2018 aggravated stalking for which you're currently on probation. You were sentenced to 1 year to serve and 9 years probation. You have a 2018 violation of a family violence order ×2 and a violation of probation that same year. And then pending, you have a May 2021 forgery, possession of a Schedule II controlled substance, and giving false name to officers. So those are the felony offenses for the most part. So
elder,
state, please.
The elder exploitation.
Yes, Your Honor. The state shows the same history, but I
basically
did want to emphasize
he stole
that
money
not only is he on probation
from an old
for that
person.
2018 aggravated stalking case, but all of the violation of the family violence order cases, as well as that aggravated stalking case, involve his immediate family members. So the victim's daughter in this case and the victim herself. And I would emphasize that our office has spoken to the victim, who confirmed that there is an active TPO in place, and it was active at the time of this incident. The point of contact for the victim has requested that bond be denied, and considering the defendant's history,
we'll be there soon.
And the multiple violations of that family violence order, the fact there was a TPO in place, the state would also be requesting no bond. However, considering the charges, should Your Honor be inclined to grant bond, we do request that be in the amount of $10,000 and include a stay away provision.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Mills?
There was a PPO
Yes, thank you, Your
at the
Honor.
time of this offense.
As Your Honor did, this is an old one. I think it's about 3 years old at this point.
We got you.
I would like the court to know that Mr. McGee came to the DeKalb County Jail from the Gwinnett Jail. There he served a year for the charge that I believe I received that's pending, but he indicated to me this morning that he actually just closed that case out and was
Denise,
sentenced
the
to
Lord
10
wanted
years
you to have
probation,
that.
on that 2021 case just before he came over to DeKalb. So that's no longer pending. It should be closed with the caveat that he is on probation there. But to tell Your Honor about Mr. McGee, he is 65 years old and has been in Georgia his entire life. Before he went into custody in Gwinnett, he had been residing at a home with his daughter and son-in-law.
No.
That is a home in Atlanta. He's
Stealing
been there
money
for about 3.5 years and
from
has
old
indicated to me that he can return to that home if he is released. In addition to his adult daughter that resides in the area, he does have 3 sons. So he has strong ties and strong family support from his children. Your Honor, Mr. McGee is disabled. He has severe issues with his spine. He actually has several screws in his spine and has been receiving disability payments since 2014.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he has not received any payments for the last year. Again, he was incarcerated during that time, so he hasn't been able to make any money or have any access to those funds. And he's very eager to get out of custody so he can work on getting his Medicare payments set up, as he just turned 65 years old this year.
In too deep, is
Your
that
Honor,
true?
there's certainly a lot of investigation
about
that needs
that?
to be done here, so I won't speak to the facts today. But I'm hopeful that we can have him on a preliminary hearing calendar soon. But ultimately, Judge, he's of very limited means and will not be able to post any monetary bond. So our request today for Mr. McGee is a UJR.
There is
Okay,
one
I
from
do
back
have a
in the day.
question. I'm
There's
not
one
sure
there.
how the information reads available to me or to the court. Is this his mother who is the victim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. Stealing money from mama. Shame.
I presume his mom is still living?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor. She's now in assisted living.
She's in assisted living, okay. All right, considering this happened in 2018, he's been in custody, has limited resources. I'm going to concur with Ms. Mills on this one. And I'm going to grant him an unsecured judicial release so he can go ahead and try to get his life together. And it's up to the family to have any type of protective order, anything that's ongoing to stop him from being around his mom. Looks like there may have been some underlying drug issues that led to these
Mom's
issues.
a
Sir.
shipping.
You know, I just want to encourage you. You've been clean since you've been in custody, so hopefully you can go to some NA meetings and try to go back that same route.
I've been sober for 5 years, Your Honor.
Oh, okay, all right.
Good for you.
All right, we'll have you sign it. Well, I'm going to give you an unsecured judicial release, and we'll have to have you sign the
Somebody get
waiver
this
of
man a
preliminary
cookie.
hearing as well.
He's been clean 5 years. Cookie, please.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
No, you're welcome.
Okay, sign and save the bond order and the waiver.
Everything is choppy on your
Let me
end. Is
know
it
when
only
Mr.
our guy? If
when
so,
position one
a
is
raise of
back.
hands that it's only our guy.
DK.
Dave, I bet he does. Real quick, we're going to jump over and see what's happening in this
Mr.
other
Pineda?
courtroom. We'll come back over here in a minute if this sucks.
I started moving the stuff away from me. When the customer let him go, he charged at me. The liquor bottle was right in front of me, like where I moved him at. He picked up the gallon of XO NJ red top bottle and hit me upside the head. Our work shirt, we have a pocket, and right here I have my phone.
You're showing me your right hand, I'm sorry, your left hand pocket?
Yep, it's a pocket right there, and I keep my phone there. Once he hit me upside the head with the bottle, he reached, grabbed it, snatched my phone out.
Hit her with a Bible?
And me and my manager, Harmon, we went outside behind him. And I kept asking him, give me my phone, give me my phone, give me my phone. He would not give me my phone. Then eventually when I pushed him, he said, man, get off me, threw my phone on the ground and got in the car, took off, police pulled right up.
Well, let's start with the first thing. Where were you hit in the head? Could you show us?
Yes, right here with the bottom.
And you're showing
Yep.
about around your right ear.
Yep,
And which bottle do you think hit you there?
the NJ XO red top gallon.
There you go.
I'm sorry. we're gonna
Pro
have to go
tip.
real slow.
I'm sorry, the
NJ?
XO red top gallon.
So this guy hit her with a Bible and took her
Yep,
phone.
red top.
The top
Very
of the
interesting
bottle?
Yep, the
choice
top
of
of the
weapon.
bottle is red.
And is this one of those gallons you're talking about?
A gallon.
Typically, that only happens in church.
Hit you in the head with that, and he also pushed you a couple of times. Is that
Yeah, when he came before the incident, when he came charging, I was standing by the door. He charged with the beer bottle, pushed me. I went into the corner. A customer saw it and ran up, and they got to scuffling. I stood in the corner because my manager said, India, stand right here. So I didn't touch him, nothing. When he got done, the manager let him go. He walked over, he got the liquor bottle.
Could be.
Hit me with it, pulled my phone, ran outside.
Did you ever go to the cash register and pay for any
Nope.
of the items?
No items at all.
And tell me now exactly what you think he took besides a gallon liquor bottle and a red pop?
He had a red pop and he had frozen food like Stouffer's.
Yes.
Frozen
Stouffer's.
food. It was 2 of them.
Shout out to Stouffer's.
Cases of beer.
They bust.
They just fell.
Yep, because when the other customer
Oh, bottle.
ran up, they got to fighting. So he dropped the liquor bottles. I mean the beer bottles and everything. Like the bottles had broke because they was glass bottles.
Oh my! So they were glass bottles, not cans.
No, not cans. 24 pack.
All of the bottles broke.
Yes.
Wow. Now, did you follow outside so you could see where this person went?
So she worked at that convenience store, maybe?
Did you?
No, after I got my phone, I went inside because my hand was actually, 2 of my nails was gone and my hand was bleeding. So I walked inside.
So you don't know where he went after you?
Nope.
But you do know he didn't pay for anything?
Nothing.
What a son of a bitch. Oh, somebody help her to her seat. 11 years ago, I caught my wife cheating. So maybe you need therapy. I told her, bitch, you need Jesus. I can confirm by his effective weapon.
Did you always work at the same store?
No, ma'am.
They assigned you to different ones?
Yes, I was doing overtime at Center in Davidson. That's where it took place at.
Okay, so even though your normal store is Court and Door.
Yes.
The day this happened.
Was on Center in Davidson at Friday.
You said the police arrived quite quickly?
Yes.
Did you actually talk to the police that evening?
Yes, I did.
And made a complaint about what had happened?
Yes,
to
I
you and to the store?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. I'll pass the witness on.
Proper nomination.
Ms. Smith, your testimony is that the person who did this was 6 feet tall.
Taller than me.
Is that what we're going to go with? How tall he is?
How tall are you?
4'9".
Okay.
4'9". So, yeah, everybody's probably 6 foot
But you
tall to her.
specifically told the officer 6 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So you didn't say just taller than you. You
Yeah,
specifically
because
said
he
6
asked.
feet tall.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't blame me.
And
Blame
what kind of clothing
YouTube.
was this person wearing?
The day I believe he had on blue jeans and a jacket. And he had a skull, he had like a little skull thing on and a mask on.
When you say skull, you mean like a beanie kind of hat?
Yeah.
Like a knitted hat? Okay.
If there's issues, I'll go
You
ahead
said
and
he had
cut
a
it
bad
and
guy.
we'll call it a day.
How were you able to identify him?
Because he had came to my Rite Aid on Court and Door multiple times and had been stealing. One time he came, had 2 liquor bottles of Tito's. He came up to the counter that day with different credit cards and they all declined. He said he'd be back. I went to put the merchandise back on. The thing he walked back in and on door court, we keep liquor bottles right in the front, like where our metal detector is, so it's easy for you to grab them and walk out. As soon as I walked to the back, he picked up the 2 bottles and walked out the door. We have cameras, so when we went back, I was like, okay, so this is the same guy that came in, and every time
Repeat
he had
offender.
came
He's
in,
been
I have
stealing
pointed
all
him
the
out
time.
with a mask on, without a mask on, different clothing, different hats. Every time I noticed him.
And you said he also had, I think your words were twisty dreads.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought, Eric.
You know approximately how long they were?
Nope, like I said, he had a little squally on, but they wasn't too long because they wasn't hanging.
How long on this date was the person in the store?
Please like this video if you haven't done so already, guys.
I'd say about 20 minutes.
If you're on Facebook, share if possible that you're still allowed to
Did you
do
see if the
that.
person got arrested that night or not?
No, he did not get arrested.
Watching this old lady over here. She's feisty.
Is that the last time you had any interactions with this person?
To be honest, I had saw him. I don't know when y'all picked him up, but it was like a while back. My mom worked at Rite Aid, so I went to pick.
Well, no, let me just ask you this, but any other interactions in the store?
Nope.
Since that night? Okay. Nothing further.
Well, she had plenty to say.
You said he took your phone. Did you see what he did with your phone?
He had it in his hand. When he took it, he ran out. And when I went after him, he still had my hand and his phone.
So you don't know what happened to your phone?
No, when I had pushed him, that's when he threw my phone on the ground. I picked it up.
Oh, you did? Did you get it back?
Yes, I got my phone back.
By the way, this is the same courthouse that
on
Judge
the
Herman
ground,
is
on the
in.
cement, on the sidewalk.
outside the store?
Yes, outside the store.
We're in
So he carried it
Detroit,
out.
Michigan area.
Yes, he did.
Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please step down. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh my gosh, she is short. Wow.
Any testimony or other evidence at this time?
Not for the defense, Judge. Thank you.
Your Honor, we have a motion at this time. The people have a motion based on the testimony that we heard this afternoon from India Smith at the Rite Aid store on Davidson Road.
The reggae store.
Michigan on February 12, about 8 p.m.
We're going to jump over here because I think I know how this judge is going to go with this case.
That he was in the course of stealing liquor. It's here specified as beer, but I think I should amend it to liquor, generally speaking, liquor, and or a cell phone, having heard the test.
And case 22383, you wish to set for a pitches motion, is that right?
That's correct, Your Honor. I think, would you okay going to early July, counsel?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Willis, do you continue to waive time for a preliminary examination?
Yes, sir, I do. Okay.
And how many officers will you be requesting the pitches on?
Dirtiest
It will be,
courtroom
let me
in the
count.
nation.
It's at least 5. I want to say it's maybe 7 or 8. I'll make sure it's all specified in my motion, Your Honor. But it's all from the same agency.
Probation.
Okay. You have a proposed date?
Go on. We're waiting.
Could we do, let's see.
By the way, our bond hearings are over. There wasn't that many people to see.
Could I do July 5, Your Honor?
What did he say? Can I use your Wi-Fi, Your Honor?
I work for you, Ms. Schultz.
That's fine. Thank you.
All right, let's jump out of here. This guy's already boring me.
A joint pretrial statement?
Sure, absolutely. Mr. Dewar?
Yes, that is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll
The
just close
Honorable
this down,
Judge
expecting
Allen.
to receive a pretrial statement from you guys, and we'll go from there in terms of jury selection. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think she only chased him because of the phone.
Your Honor, I have one other 2 o'clock matter, but I believe a conditional dismissal was signed for it. I just want to check to make sure you received it because it still appears on the court record for today online. 220265. Last names Brown and Kelly.
Nancy. Hey. What's
Is it
going
Brown
on, Nancy?
and
Kelly? Yes.
Someone's actually made an excision through my copy, so I assume that's because we're removing that from our list for the afternoon.
Excellent, Your Honor. I
This
just wanted to make
judge
sure
has
so I didn't
great
log off prematurely.
tone.
Thank you.
Log off. Next matter is case 220367, Thorough Development versus Andrew Alama. Appearances for the record.
William Nowd, Your Honor, on behalf of the plaintiff Thorough Development, I would indicate that matter has been dismissed, Your Honor. I believe we delivered a dismissal to the court earlier today.
Okay. On your word as an officer of the court, I'm not going to do anything further. We'll just expect to be entering.
Wow, on
the
your
dismissal.
word as a
Thank you.
Lord of the court.
Is that your only one, Mr. Nowd?
Moto G was?
No, I have one other, Your Honor. It's
Back again.
Darren Herp and Chelsea Brooks. It's 0369.
By the way, Moto G appearing from the year 2021, which is not a small feat in itself. That's amazing.
Ms. Brooks is here. So this is case 220369, Thorough Development versus Darren Herp and Chelsea Brooks. Appearances for the record, Mr. Nowd.
William Nowd on behalf of Thorough Development, Your Honor.
May it please the court, David B. Carter Jr. on behalf of the defendants in this matter.
Okay, what are we doing today, guys?
Your Honor, I was going to ask for a short adjournment. I did contact Mr. Nowd earlier this week and indicate to him that the defendants had just contacted me and I was working through a resolution with this. It's my understanding that the defendants have had filed for their SARA benefits. There was a
Okay, so this is all
minor
tenant
issue
stuff.
with that. It wasn't a rejection. It was they needed more information, which they have.
Have
they
we seen that
provided to
Anthony
the-
guy down
to
there,
the,
Anthony Sway?
agency. I do have the application number that shows
we've
that they
seen him
are in that process. As of this time, they have not been denied or accepted, but we're hoping they'll get accepted and it would resolve the case.
Mr. Now?
Your Honor, that's
Anthony?
correct. I think it'd be appropriate to adjourn this matter. I was thinking if we could adjourn it for 2 weeks, hopefully it could otherwise be resolved by then.
Well, in 2 weeks, I hope to be on vacation, so why don't we just do it June 2nd? And if you don't need that date, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, judge coming in hot with vacation.
Very good. What time on the 2nd, Your Honor?
2 o'clock.
Where are you going, Your Honor? You're going to hang out with Judge Middleton down in the Florida.
Thank you for
Very good.
accommodating us and thank you, Mr. Knapp.
You're welcome. Your Honor, I believe that's the last matter for me today.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Did you guys hear the whole thing with that Johnny Depp case where that lady said, Amber Heard said,
So
he
what's your
gave her
name?
a cavity search?
Can you pull your mask down so I can hear you? Dodge. Okay.
Will you take that stupid mask off so I can hear you?
All right. I haven't gotten to yours yet. Just hold on. So the next matter is case 220373. This is Windermere Apartments versus Calvana Randolph.
Lasagna.
Craig Bates appearing again for Windermere.
Thank you, Your Honor. Christina Corcoran appearing on behalf of Ms. Randolph.
Windermere's
So what are we
kicking
doing today,
everybody out.
counselors?
I have also filed an answer as well as a jury demand in this matter, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, we're past the 30-day stay. If they filed your demand, we'd be asking you for an escrow order pending trial date then.
Okay. Well, you can certainly do that.
Being one, Mr.
No, Your Honor.
Overwater. Okay, so OV 12 goes to
Go over here
one.
and see what's happening.
Anything else?
They're killing me today.
No, Your
with
Honor, that
these
would reduce the total OV
bad
score to
courtrooms.
26, but the OV level would remain a 3.
Sway was a PD? I thought Sway was the
Okay,
dude.
26 remains a 3. So then for an E3, what would the range be?
2 to 17, Your Honor.
Are you in agreement with that, Ms. Armstrong?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the guideline minimum range is 2 to 17. Anything further, Mr. Overwater?
I
Oh,
just
thank you,
happened
Your
to
Honor.
hear about it and I was like, this is
Ms.
the weirdest thing
Armstrong?
ever.
Nothing further, thank you.
Sounded so crazy.
Mr. Hubbard, is there anything that you would like to tell me before I impose sentence?
No, Your Honor.
He's in a basement somewhere.
Okay.
Anywhere's an
Well,
improvement
it
over
is
that place.
Unfortunate that the victim
Hang in there, Denise.
feels violated and unsafe, even though it was items taken, you know, her safety has been compromised and that's unfortunate. So I am sentencing you, however, on count 2, stealing or retaining a financial transaction device without consent, to
ATM
1
card?
to 4 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections. That is consecutive to your parole cases, so there's 0 credit for days served. You must pay $68 state cost crime victim assessment of $130, court costs of $1,611. And actually, I am going to reduce that to $1,000 and then
Cutting 'em
an
a break.
attorney fee of $300. You're entitled to file an application for leave to appeal from your conviction and sentence. If you can't afford an attorney, one can be appointed for you for purposes of appeal. However, the request for appointment of appellate counsel must be filed within 42 days of today's sentencing. How will you transmit that form to your client, Mr. Overwater?
I will mail that to him at the Department of Corrections.
Or it could go over water.
Okay, good
Your
luck
Honor.
to you, sir.
Your Honor, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
and if
There's-
there is going to be restitution, the victim would be entitled to a restitution hearing. Ms. Armstrong?
that was my understanding. She had submitted a request for $1,227.70. I thought that was contained within the probation recommendation.
Well, it doesn't show on the one that I received, so 1,000.
I'm gonna leave it here then, Sarge, for sure.
$227.70.
Any objection,
Pew,
Mr.
pew, Ed,
Overwater?
pew, pew.
Have you seen that?
This guy's getting sentenced into some pretty righteous time. He's going to pull a little time from the subterranean basement.
You're
They have him
muted,
captive
Mr.
in at this point.
Overwater. I don't know if you responded.
I apologize, Your Honor. I have not seen that. I know there was, I'm aware of transactions that were made on the complaining witness's card, but I don't know if those amounts of money were credited back to her. I don't know.
Fire captain
I think
for
it
the
was
win.
$100 cash taken, so I'm not sure how that we've arrived at that figure. What I would ask is if the court's going to enter that today, I would ask the prosecutor to provide whatever verification there is for that figure, and then if necessary, we can set it for a restitution hearing.
I mean, if you don't
On
pay those
page
restitutions,
5
I
of the
mean,
56
he's in
pages for
prison.
PSIR, I think it was in the narrative portion of it. It says restitution is applicable in this case and should be initially set at $1,227.70 with the possibility to be amended when additional values are provided by victim. So if the court needs me to add additional documentation,
Well, Mr. Overwater needs that documentation. I see the statement in the report, but he needs to know what compromises that, because the purse contained $100 in cash, and there were charges.
Who walks
I don't
around with that
know
much
if
money
she
these
was
days?
required to
cash.
pay those charges. Sometimes the credit card companies pick that up if it's a case of fraud. So if the credit card companies
what I
have
figured.
paid that, she wouldn't be entitled, but the credit card companies would. So that needs to be fleshed out better so the court knows who the money gets dispersed to if it's ordered. So
yes, Your Honor.
I
will
I can put in that amount and then you two work it out. Is that
I would ask the
agreeable?
court not to enter that amount until we have the information verifying that.
So then we just will keep that blank, but you're entitled to a hearing, and if you work out a stipulated order, that's fine.
Thank you, Your
Good
Honor.
luck to you, Mr. Hubbard.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Oh, yes, Mr. Hubbard, go ahead.
I was told
Yes.
that from the time that I ended my parole and within sentencing, I would get my time credited from October 18th, which is the day I stopped my parole.
That is correct, Your Honor. He should get credit from that date, and I don't know that the court said that.
That's my understanding as well. His
Anything
credit should
here is
start
gonna
on
be
October
upgrade for Mr.
18th,
Hubbard.
2021, the date his parole ended.
Mr. Hubbard
So the
doing his
date
own
passes.
work.
So somebody needs to give me that information because probation's
check it out.
recommendation was 0 credit.
Yeah, I believe we discussed this at the time the plea was entered.
Just
And that
give
is
me
part of
the
our sentence
number of
agreement.
days. If you give me the number of days, I'll give him.
Quick, on behalf of Jill Bauer, who is also
go over
present
here
in
real
my
quick.
office with
We
me
love
via
this guy.
Zoom.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Elliot Blumberg on behalf of the defendant. Mr. Bauer is here present, appearing by Zoom and from my office.
Okay, thank you and welcome everyone. So I brought us back again today, counsel. I know that at our last hearing date, I think it was in February, there was a talk of appraisals that were going to be sought and there was going to be some home inspections done. And then we were going to come back to find out how things are going and what needs to be done. Is that consistent with your recollection, Ms. Bailey Quick?
It is.
Mr. Blumberg?
Yes, that's correct.
So then how are things going between the parties and the attorneys since then, and what should the court otherwise be aware of?
Your Honor, appraisals, there is a snafu with the appraisal.
Snafu.
There was a misunderstanding. We had an appraisal done, but there was a misunderstanding and correspondence went to the appraiser that we.
All right.
All right.
She gonna praise something
Sir?
else.
So what does it say? Your child support's gonna be $264 and it'll start July 1st.
That's a deal.
Can I object to that, or is
Yeah.
that just the final word? Or
I mean, I can hear from you, but I'll tell you that they've imputed you at minimum wage. Okay, so everybody can make minimum wage. Everybody can, at what minimum wage is. So they've imputed you at minimum wage. So this is the least amount your child support's could go. And it doesn't start until July the 1st.
right, but do I have visitation? So I mean, my child doesn't.
Okay, so visitation is a different hearing. There is a number for a Justice Resource Center. Ms. Gilmore can put it back in the chat. You can go there and get a free 30-minute consult and talk to them, because that's a completely separate
She was looking right, wasn't she?
action that you need to file. This is just about child support. But they did a
Right. So my
30-minute
daughter,
free consult.
so my daughter, I don't mean to interrupt you, Your Honor, but my daughter lives in California. She's been living there her whole life. She was taken away from me, and now they want some money. So I mean, now I'm like, so I mean, at least can I see her? Like, you know, so I mean, I'm just, you know, just kind of frustrated, to be honest. So I mean, whatever.
No, I understand. So yeah, so see, I can't even do anything out for that. So that's why I'm like, you gotta. Yeah,
We
you
didn't
gotta
even
do a
have her
completely
added
separate
to the
action for that.
rotation. She's on there now, though, Terminator. Thank you so much for letting us know about her.
Okay,
All right. Well, the link.
this will start. This will start July. So
And who do I pay?
so there's a portal. You can go online to the portal and you can pay through there.
Yes, he does. Too high. He finds it funny, apparently.
Okay. If you want to put your email in the chat, we could shoot you a copy of the order so you'll have it.
He does not want to pay child support.
Sounds good.
All right. You stay healthy and safe. Once you put your email in the chat, you can go ahead and leave the meeting.
All right. Hey.
Damn, that's it. Oh man. Well, back to back to the ranch. I hate to see that happen. I was actually
Inspection in the past.
No, we had, but my client's at the point, given the length of this matter, we don't have any need to inspect her home. I mean, so if they still feel the need to do an inspection, we'll make that happen.
All right, so the way I envision it then is, well, I'll tell you my suggestion, then I want the attorney's suggestion. I could do one of two things. I could set out trial dates and give enough time.
All right, we'll jump to this.
Okay. Calling People versus Orlando Quintana, case number 220501FY.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Lydia McHale on behalf of the people.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Alvin Salen, P23797, on behalf of Mr. Quintana.
All right. Mr. Quintana has not appeared. We show that he did not check in. You indicated, though, Mr. Salen, that you had spoken to him.
I did, Your Honor, literally yesterday afternoon.
What's
He
with
told me he had a new
Alvin's
phone,
hair?
but was getting a new phone, didn't have that number yet. He also thought he gave me his proper new email address, and I had emailed the discovery on this case as well as the other case that's pending.
I mean, I
before
have
Judge
wacky
Martinez
hair,
too.
but
I don't know if
that's-
he's received that, Your Honor. I would just ask him, as much as I've reviewed
know
the
what's going on with
discovery
that.
in this matter, if the court.
Is this the
within its
world's worst
discretion would just
hairpiece?
to adjourn the PCC over. This is a small amount of controlled substance here, and there may be a strong possibility after I have an ability to reconnect with my client that there may be a waiver in this case.
All right. Any comment, Ms. McHale?
You got a waiver right
I
here.
have no objection to an adjournment, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'm going to adjourn at one time, Mr. Sallin, since you did in fact speak with him. He advised that he did not have a phone on the date of the arraignment. So if you get that number and you're able to reach him, hopefully you will. We'll set it for a new date. When would you like to come back, on a Tuesday or Thursday afternoon?
See you next
Thank you,
Tuesday,
Judge. One
Judge
second, please.
Nana.
Mhm.
Judge Nana, everybody, is here. She not only does she preside over these cases, she also bakes
The
some of the most
19th of the
delicious
afternoon, Your
cookies you've
Honor?
ever had.
The only date I can't do.
I feel like she'd be nice. Like if I was going to need had to go before a judge, I wanted
A
to be Judge
Tuesday
Nana.
also, Your
here.
Honor?
Tuesday or Thursday, correct.
Well, I'm going to be in court with, in person with Judge Martinez on the 24th, if that's okay.
What
That's
time-
scheduled at 2 p.m., Your Honor. And if we just have a PCC, certainly we'll be in a position whether to schedule an exam or waive it at that time.
You could come here first if you're going to be in
Thank
the
you, Judge.
building.
It is because one's
So
a
I'll set it
hairpiece
for
and one's the rest.
1:45
Morticia
on May 24th.
in all her glory.
I'm listing Zoom on the document, on the file, but I'm indicating that you'll be here in person on something else.
That's a classic grandmother
Thank you, Judge.
hairdo.
Also, that's going to take us outside of the 21 days. I know the defendant is not here. I don't know if you discussed that with him or not.
I did not, but I don't anticipate after speaking with him, we'll have any problems putting the appropriate waiver of that on the record.
Okay. As
And I
for
think
today,
there's also good cause, Your Honor.
yeah, for today's purposes, I'm going to find good cause to go outside of that time period. He's not in custody. I'll continue the bond at this point.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
So
Very
May
ballsy not
24th,
showing up.
1:45 p.m. Everyone else will be by Zoom. You will be for everyone else. So
Thank you, Judge. Everyone have a good day.
the courtroom. Thank you, Mr. Sallin.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Is he on telephone? Bye-bye. APA here. How you doing? Do. Judge Nana, call somebody else. Well, Mikey's looking for somewhere else for us to go to. Anybody?
I'm going to pause the recording until we have the parties for Christ's sake.
Boo. That's fine. We'll just stare at her face. No, we won't. Never mind. Jumping to the Honorable Terry L. Clark. Judge Terry Clark, go ahead. Take it away.
So just so that he can be medicated.
Why is that so low?
Also, and so that, he would help me with his defense if he was out and able to understand and he needed to get reviewed. I'm asking for a
Great.
hospital there.
I stop at the world's worst
Was the
audio
victim in this particular
courtroom.
matter hospitalized?
I do not believe so, Your Honor, not that I'm aware of.
And we'll see you folks back here on May 12th of 22.
Well,
at
if he didn't go to
9:05.
the hospital,
The bond that was
couldn't have been
previously
too
set
bad.
was in the amount of $3,500 cash, surety property at 10%. Court will amend the bond in this matter. Court will set a $10,000 personal recognizance bond with day reporting. And we'll see you folks back here May 12th. That's next Thursday at 9 a.m. May 12th, 22 at 9 a.m. And still no contact with the victim. And counselor, make sure you do your writ so that we can have the victim here if you're indicating that.
Court services is going to allow, but I'll try to help whatever way I can to get it done.
Is it me or
Thank you,
is,
Ms. Gillette. And suggestions to the court by Ms. Donovan.
Your Honor, ideally, if he could be transported, we could set up a Zoom interview with him still in the Greenwood County Jail.
He's not on yet.
Or if need be, go in person if it came to that. I honestly,
You should have
have
seen him.
never
He was a doozy.
gone to the Sedgwick County Jail as a Butler County CSO.
It's
to
going.
complete an
I appreciate
assessment.
everybody that hits the like
And
button.
that's typically not our protocol for doing these assessments. So I would certainly be willing to inquire if that's what the court would want me to do. But I am confident if he is in Greenwood that we can absolutely get it done.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Donovan. It appears the most
He does.
optimal means and method to getting the LSIR complete is by transport of the defendant to the Greenwood County Jail on a specific day and time. And the court will make inquiry to Under Sheriff Cox.
Whoa, Judge.
Is there a specific date and time that would be best for coordination with court services?
Your Honor, Wednesdays typically work better for us for transports and things like that. And my suggestion is, do an order, set it up for a Wednesday afternoon.
Who's talking?
And I'll send my transport officer over there with his department issued smartphone, and we'll Zoom from the parking lot and then just return him back to the Sedgwick County Jail.
Smartphone. Judge Michael Nelson.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Under Sheriff Cox.
Thank you, Under Sheriff Cox.
Can we, Ms. Donovan, would that work for you?
Certainly, Your Honor. I can set a time.
She's got a kid's game chair.
I don't know how soon you want to set this on the next docket, and I can pick a time in between there. I don't know when that would be. When would be the next sentencing date, Your Honor?
Okay.
Chris.
I believe
Hello,
that
Newman.
we
Yes.
are at.
He does. He's a big boy.
I
Attorney.
believe next available is June 30. And June 30.
Ugh, look at him. He
And
is not
Mr.
happy.
Fabre, are you available on June the 30?
June. My man's gonna be here a while.
Let me take a look here.
Oh, we about to lose it. He's about to lose it.
It'd be pretty tough if it's by Zoom. I could be available.
And that would be by
Come on, let's
Zoom
be fair.
on June 30.
10
Judge,
pizzas
here's
away.
my
Let's go with
question. I don't know how long the LSIR would take, but is there any way we could get a special setting on this? I don't know what your calendar's like, but
All the big names are here
There's
today.
a tremendous backlog. We are now doing jury trials. We're now doing in-person.
Shoot,
I'm
Green,
doing
have a great
Division
day.
2 in-person domestic. And
He's losing it.
to answer your question, the compartmentalization of Greenwood County for the 13th Judicial District is divisionally set up for every fourth Thursday. Now, I'll go back and
Shouldn't this judge be retired a while back? He's slowing down. His batteries
so
are running down.
Is there anything on the fourth Thursday of May? Because we're almost 2 months out.
well, it'd actually be Thursday, June the 2nd. It's completely full.
It does
from
look like a
9
backward baseball cap.
all the way to 5. And then on June 30, I have available 1 o'clock to 2:30.
This guy's in rotten jail.
So, Judge, I do have
Tyler
your
Durden isn't
last
getting out no time
appointment
soon.
that day at 4:30 on June 3rd. It's a Nick Snyder arraignment. So if the court would be willing to double stack it, and if the PSI could be done by then, the arraignment won't take very long. Maybe we could do the sentencing right there in the 4:30 slot.
Okay, you say we've already got a 4:30?
Yeah, I'm the 4:30 appointment, Nick Snyder.
Okay.
It's arraignment.
Is there any way the
I've
defendant
got
doesn't get out and beat
available,
Joseph's ass?
1 to 2:30.
On June 2nd?
On June 30.
Oh, on
June
June 30. Yeah, I was talking about June 2nd. I have the 4:30 on June 2nd.
He's losing it.
Oh, see, okay, I was confused, excuse me.
Can we push
That's
it to
okay.
July, Your
I've
Honor?
made a mistake.
It happens to
And-
the best of us, Judge.
Pardon me?
I said it happens to the best of us.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I have
Um,
us down having 2 cases at that time slot already, and I don't know how we got 2 set. I have down Mary Jones with Mr. Paw, and I have Nick Snyder with Mr. Fabre.
Are you talking about
down.
that big pink nipple on the wall back there? Somebody asked about the sombrero.
Okay, and
Maybe
I'm not
Cinco de
gonna
Mayo?
set 3 at that
I understand.
time. Now I can go to June 30. And I've got time available, 1 to 2:30. And I think I'm gonna double check with Chris. I think we may be available at 4:30 on June the 30.
Judge,
also.
1 o'clock on June 30 is fine. Let's get it done as quickly as we can.
1 o'clock, okay.
He is so mad, man. Oh, look at him. He's freaking out. That rat tail is epic, though. Look at that rat tail.
All right. The court orders that the Greenwood County Attorney prepare a transport order for Mr. Potts.
Potts?
And what date and time did we come up with?
For the
Your Honor,
transport.
2 pieces away.
Your Honor, I can do his assessment. I don't know which Wednesday would be better for Greenwood County. We could do that on Wednesday, June 1st,
Mr. Potts has
or I
things to get
could
done.
even do that on May 25th.
Okay, thank you, Miss Donovan. Under Sheriff Cox, 2 dates that are suggested for transport would be Wednesday, May 25th, or Wednesday, June 1st.
Your Honor, the 25th would be great.
Yes. Okay.
He wanted you to
The
take.
court orders the transport order on May 25th, 2022.
If he just took June 1st, he'd lost his shit again on that one.
And Ms. Donovan, do you wish to meet with Mr. Potts in the Greenwood County Jail? Or do you wish to work under the suggestion of Under Sheriff Cox?
See if I keep you in custody. The law says you must see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You do have a right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Is that Don Ferguson, the attorney? Okay. No, I was sure. No, I'm sorry. I was just checking user. Oh, hi, Don. Hadn't seen you before. Just making sure it wasn't like another Don. Good to see you. All right, so
Oh,
Nash,
look at
you're
the
15
count.
years old, been here
Sexy
for
time.
30 days, level 1 outstanding.
Level 1
You are
outstanding.
on
Good start.
probation, it looks like, for possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 2. You've had some problems on probation, got your probation extended. So on March 31st, mom called us. Do we have a parent here?
Yes, Your Honor, Bernadette Burns.
Oh, hello, Miss Burns. I think Brad Shaw. I don't think Brad's here. Mr. Gladstone is not here. I think Boyd, you were the first one in the courtroom in Zoom today, weren't you?
Brown.
Boyd Mooney?
Boydman.
I'm here,
Oh.
Judge. I've
Hello,
got
sir.
everything on.
Okay, oh, no, not a problem. So Mr. Adeniji was the attorney that day for coverage, but his case got passed or waived. So would you like to fill in for the day?
Sure. I
Okay.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem at all. Early bird gets the worm.
He's gonna make more money that way.
All right, so, all right, Nash. All right, so mom called us. So you left at 9 at night, came back at 10 in the morning. You said you were gonna go get some ice from the hotel ice machine. You never came back. Mom, that is the ice machine ice we're talking about, right? Okay. You got
I'm
ice,
gonna get
right?
some ice.
Um,
Ice.
When you came back, told your mom you were with your friend, wouldn't give details, but just at some apartments. So there was also a photo presumably on social media with weapons in your hand. Judge Porter issued a directive to apprehend for you. So while you're in detention, you got a referral for a case for March 19th about a shooting. Resident said that wouldn't have been shot. Police were told that mom was sleeping when bullets were going through the window. Police found 4 bullet holes in the window, 3 in the ceiling, and 3 holes in the ceiling from the bullets. And there's belief that there was a conflict with that house and the neighbors, and the neighbor had a gun.
Didn't pay for his ice. I mean, his
Police only found 1 bullet hole. So, see, victims felt like the shooting was retaliation for a fight between the boys in the house and another group. And the boys in the house are evidently part of a gang called Kill Shit Incorporated. So they're in an online gang war with young doughboys. Another gang. So
kill. Shit.
All right, so going through Instagram, they identified you, Nash, to the account. That was a suspected account. Pictures of you on social media with known gang members. And
Kill Shit Incorporated,
weapons
guys.
repping
Don't
a
forget
gang.
that.
So there's a search warrant for your phone. And the cell phone towers put your phone right next to the shooting at the time of the shooting. It's the only time your phone was by the pinged those towers.
Shoot 3 times in the ceiling if you want me.
So you had a bunch of marijuana positives while on probation, but when you came in, you were clean.
Well, that's a plus. Yeah, that's a terrible gang name. And the young doughboys. It's like a pizza place. Kill Shit Incorporated, LLC, as part of the We Gotta.
All right, so Ms.
franchise.
Burns, tell me about this whole gang thing about your son. You know anything about this?
No, not to the extent I had just found out about when all this happened.
So tell me about him at school. How is he at school?
He's been doing pretty good in school as long as we can keep his diabetes under control.
Sure. So what is
diabetes?
Well, explain that to me. You're saying he does well in school as long as you can keep his diabetes under control. Is he not monitoring his blood sugar?
No, he is. It's just it's up and down. Even the nurses there don't even know
They don't know what.
why it fluctuates so much.
What does the endocrinologist say?
Puberty.
Okay, that makes sense. Sometimes you're trying to hit a moving target.
Yes.
Well,
Exactly.
so when you say his grades are okay, what is okay for you?
Passing.
Let's set the bar a little bit higher, Mom. All right. A C is not good. A C is passing.
C is for crap.
I would like for B's.
Mm-hmm. So what is let me ask you this. The friends that he hangs out with, what do you know about them?
Honestly, I don't know much but their first names.
Okay.
What about the
Mom, that
nickname?
probably has to change going forward. All right. I think you have the duty and I'm giving you the responsibility of monitoring who your son hangs out with. All right. What level can you supervise him? Do you work or do you stay at home during the day?
I work, but I'm usually at home with him at
This
all
mom looks
times.
very old.
Oh, okay.
By the way. That's
All right,
And
so
I
my
work
last question.
really close.
Sure. My last question, Miss Washington, I don't see you here. Is somebody covering Sophia?
Your Honor, I'm his probation officer, Kanita Brown.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong line. Miss Brown. So tell me, his behavior level dropped on April 27th. Why did it drop?
His blood sugar did as well, Your Honor.
On April 27th, I just have that he was level 1 outstanding. On April 24th, I'm sorry, on level 2 outstanding, there is no information. On April 21st, it says seclusion. And then on April 20th, he was level 1 acceptable, I'm sorry, for major infraction, misuse of the computer, but that was on April 20th. So the last,
Snoopy, glad you're
I'm
Do we
here.
have details about the misuse of the computer?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, sir?
Oh, do we have any details about the misuse of the computer?
YouTube,
YouTube, all right.
yes, sir.
And then,
F and YouTube.
And then on 421, it was seclusion. And then there is no details after that. And then I'm assuming level 3 outstanding, then he was confined, and then level 3 outstanding, level 2 outstanding, he was working his way back down.
okay, so we don't know why he was secluded?
Your Honor, when I went and talked to Nash, and when I went and spoke with the officers there, because I visited Nash on this day, apparently there was a situation with a younger kid there that was having an argument with an older kid there, and Nash intervened and got secluded. That is the story that I was told.
So
there
there
was,
was,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh, no, that's right, go ahead.
From what I was told, Nash did not get aggressive or anything. They were just verbally arguing. That's what I was told.
So the conflict was between Nash and the younger youth, or somebody, another two in Nash just intervened?
Nash intervened. It was between the younger youth and an older youth, and then Nash intervened
Two youths.
on the younger youth's behalf.
Hey, Nash?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm good. I'm sorry?
I say yes, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. This is what I'm gonna do. Look, I'm concerned. The reason why you came in here is because you pretty much ran away for the night. You can't do that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Not while you have a case pending, not while you're on probation. Right? Now, I'm really not happy that this case came in while you're on probation. I'm gonna release you. Mom, is Dad around in the picture?
No, sir.
All right.
No surprise.
Nash, this is what I'm gonna release you on a couple different terms or conditions. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to place you, I'm gonna have an electronic monitor on you, but that's only really for you to have evidence that you've actually done what you're supposed to do, all right? You'll have a night curfew, but during the day, we're gonna trust your mom. I just want it that in case you're doing everything right, I don't want you to get blamed for something else. So as long as you're where you're supposed to be, you will have evidence that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. This will actually help you if you're doing right, okay?
Yes, Your
I'm
Honor.
also gonna require, because your past drug use is random urinalysis, I'm also gonna place on what's called community-based detention. That is where people, there's an organization that we contract with that will
Stay
be
away from
spending
kill
probably up to
shit
20 hours a week with you.
too.
They'll pop in unannounced, see where you are, make sure you are where you're supposed to be, okay? And so as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do on probation, you and I will be fine. But if you're smoking weed or hanging out with the wrong people, or even using the internet inappropriately, which at this point, what is appropriate and inappropriate is what your mom says is appropriate and inappropriate.
No
So,
YouTube.
you know, we do have a list of your accounts. If we find you online when you're not supposed to be, Instagram or whatever, then at that point, then you and I are gonna have to have this conversation again from a detention hearing, okay?
By the way,
Yes, Your
his
Honor.
mom
So,
had a comment.
I'm glad you're
Go
level
ahead.
1 outstanding, and
Go ahead. What,
you know,
Mom?
please,
What's your comment, Mom?
These
you have what it takes. Just make
Thank
sure
you,
you're
ma'am.
level 1 outstanding at home, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Nash.
Thank you,
Have
Judge.
a blessed day.
Thank you.
Haley,
Never. His dad hit it and quit it, Elvis. He just wanted one night of pleasure with that young lady, and that was it. He just wanted a taste of the good life with her. By the way, I'll be so glad when all these.
oh, Haley, I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10
Celebrity
days. I'm
cases
deciding
over.
whether to release you or to keep you in custody. If I keep you in custody, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. We've appointed
Why
Mr.
not?
Green as your attorney. I don't see Anthony here. So, Mr. Mooney, I'm going to ask you to substitute in.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
So, Haley, you've been here for 44 days. You're brought in
She's 12 years old.
in November of 21 for assault family violence. While that's pending, you were let go. March 21st, you're brought in for 2 more cases of assault family violence.
Something is in here like a gnat.
But in April 21, you have another assault case, and an assault family violence also in April 21.
She's assaulting folks.
So you've been denied placement because of aggression problems. This is my not surprised face. So
Good.
now,
Stay
let's see,
tuned,
you are
TV.
level
How are
3
you?
confined
Doing well.
because evidently on April 24th of this year, you had to be separated since you're having a conflict with other peers. The next day you were confined for breaking your do not associate and screaming and swearing at other youth. On April 27th, calling other peers names. And
Goodness, young lady.
April 3rd, for kicking staff, punching the staff, and using Black racial epithets.
Whoa!
Well, Haley, I'm pretty confident, even though these are just misdemeanors, that if I was to release you, that there would be other victims in your wake of aggression. And so it is for the safety of the community that I'm going to continue to detain you. Haley, we don't have a parent here, do we?
Uh-oh.
All right, Haley, so what you have to understand is I can wait a whole lot longer than you can. So you're 14 years old. This can go on to your 19th birthday. We can just keep on doing this, and you can spend 5 years of your life in juvenile detention or placements or going back and forth. Or one day you can say, I'm just going to respect that other people have the right not to be hit or called names, and then you get out of here and live your life. But I'm not going to force you to do one thing or another. I'm just here to open the door and show you the path that you can live your own life as long as you respect other people. So your hand is raised. I'm assuming you're not going to be calling me names. You have a question for me, or do you want to tell me something?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's your question?
My attorney said they have an offer for me yesterday because he came and talked to me since I didn't have court. He said that that he.
So that's between, Haley, I'm going to interrupt you. I don't want to get involved with what your attorney told you because that's between you and your attorney, okay? So if there's a deal that's worked out, the attorney can set it for court and we'll set you and try and get resolution to your case. But there's not much I can help you with. That's between you and your attorney. Okay? All right, so please don't tell me anything your attorney told you because I don't want to be part of the attorney-client privilege. And this is an open court session, so I don't think that's really appropriate either, okay? All right, so Haley, you have to understand that even if your deal's for probation and if you get probation, then I'm expecting you to behave and follow the rules too. Like this is not.
Probably took
just get
all
out
they
and
can
stay
take,
out.
Nancy.
You gotta get out. You gotta find a way to keep yourself out. Okay. All right. Thank you, Haley.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Micah.
We're going to see Micah, and then we're going to split after Micah. Micah's mama is here, I think. Mrs. Micah. She wearing a Wonder Woman shirt? Yep. Of all the hero shirts she could have bought, you went with Wonder Woman. But Micah taking his time. There he is.
Micah, sir.
Hello, Micah. I'm Judge Kim. This is a detention hearing. You've been here for 10 days, so I'm deciding whether to keep you or to release you. If I keep you, you'll see a judge every 10 days while you're here. You have the right to remain silent. You have a right to an attorney. Mr. Willett has been appointed as your attorney. I don't think he's able to make it. So, Mr. Mooney, I'm going to ask you to substitute in.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Welcome. So, Micah. Hello, Ms. Brown. So you were on probation. Let's see, you successfully completed probation for burglary of a habitation and for evading arrest. Now, April 6th, Arlington PD brought you in. They're dispatched to domestic. Talked to your brother. He said you've been arguing throughout the day, mostly just picking on each other. And he said to you, if I wasn't your brother, I'd fight you.
Ooh.
Then he said you pulled out a pocket knife, threatened to stab him. You didn't think you actually would. And you put the knife away. And kept on arguing, pulled the knife out again twice more, threatened to stab him. And continued to argue, pulled the knife again, but then held it out aggressively before putting it in the pocket. Brother said he was afraid, so he pushed you both in on the ground. He said he did punch you to get the knife.
Ooh.
Mom came home, separated the two, called the police. They searched you, didn't find the knife, but they did find the knife in your bedroom.
Yes, sir.
So this all happened while there was a pending case from February. There's a burglary in progress at a church. Police went to check the church. Three people sitting by the doors on the south side. Doors were locked, but the window was open.
Is he part of the Kill Shit Inc. gang?
Officer
or
went
the
checked the window, went
Doughboy?
back. Suspects were gone. So search the buildings. No one's found. But inside the classroom, on the whiteboard, somebody wrote the word "dick."
Oh,
There's some Play-Doh taken out, thrown on the table. A Dr. Pepper bottle that was mostly empty, and a mask, an N95 mask on the ground.
I don't want to say anything, but somebody did the same thing here, Your Honor. Can we please have
Church
that
did
checked
want to
out?
prosecute. And you refuse to provide drug samples. We have Mom here. All right. Well, a couple questions. Ms. Morales,
Who wrote dick on the board? Let's find out now. I need to know.
you're on mute.
Sorry, Judge.
It's okay. Is this the first time you've been able to contact Mom today?
Yes, I was told she's here.
Okay, let's make sure there's a summons for her before she leaves.
Okay.
All right. And then, or actually, why don't you bring her to the courtroom so we can swear her in as a witness while she's in the building? Okay.
Good.
And then next, did we ever get a drug test, a nail bed test done?
We got a drug test positive for marijuana.
Okay, it was positive for marijuana. I guess that's why he was stalling.
Flush making friends everywhere. Ed's excited about volleyball, I believe. Ed, thank you. I'm not that excited about volleyball. Nancy, well, she's just excited about nothing. But that's all right too. It seems like this young man's got a bright future ahead of him.
Probation for burglary by habitation. Well, no, burglary by habitation, evading arrest.
Yeah, he's not letting this guy out. Let's go ahead and let's call it as we see it. And we're going to call this case to an end and an end to today's We Got a Case. Join me back here. Creed will be with us for 405's We Got a Case. We got a case. We got a chase. And it doesn't, no theme Thursday is what we're going with, I think. No theme Thursday. Hope to see everybody there. We appreciate everybody who was nice enough to come by and join us for We Got a Case. If you're new here, think about checking out some of the past shows. Some of them are way better than this, I promise. Like the video if you haven't done so already and you made it this far. Also, if you're on Facebook, think about sharing this and following us. If you're not following us on Facebook, you're missing out. You need to be following us. Anybody? Anyone got anything to say? Nobody? All right.
Once again, the communication process is broken down.
That's okay. We'll be back again soon. Until next time. That's not what I want to play. No. Until next time, please remember. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah.